right, good morning. We are going to have a series of statements. Admiral Robert Chadwick, who is Commander, Naval Region Hawaii, will start off. He will then hand the podium over to the NCIS Special Agent in charge. We will have several brief statements, and at the end we will have time for only a very few questions, and then the principals will have to leave at that point. Are there any questions before we start? All right, thank you. Admiral Chadwick.
Well, good morning. Again, I'm Rear Admiral Rob Chadwick, Commander, Navy Region Hawaii. I would like to start by again extending all of our condolences to the families of the victims and all involved in this tragic event. We are obviously all Ohana here, and this is hurting all of us. In addition to supporting the investigation, which you'll hear more about, our focus is on providing support to those families, as well as sailors and shipyard employees who have been affected by this event. It's coming in the form of counseling services. We did have clinical psychologists and counselors respond immediately, and counseling services remain available. Our chaplains are fully engaged. Commanders are conducting all hands calls, and obviously the mutual support within commands and organizations. And that we are getting information out in many ways so that if anyone needs support, they can certainly get it. I would certainly like to highlight the great cooperation we've had with NCIS and all the law enforcement agencies. I certainly want to also commend the first responders that day and the way that they responded. It really was an all-hands effort and very well done. So again, in closing, our focus remains on providing that needed support to the families, sailors, and shipyard employees who have been affected by this. And obviously, our thoughts are also with our extended Navy family in Pensacola, who are currently dealing with the situation. So at this point, I will turn it over to Mr. Norm Dominici of NCIS.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Norm Dominici. I'm the Special Agent in charge for the Naval Criminal Investigative Service Hawaii Field Office. On behalf of our NIST family here in Hawaii, I want to express our deepest condolences to the victims, their families, and all who are suffering as a result of this senseless act of violence that recently occurred here. Our thoughts and prayers are with you all, and our thoughts and prayers are with those at Naval Station, Pensacola, Florida. On December 4th at approximately 2:15 p.m., NCIS special agents, Navy security forces, United States Air Force security forces, and the Honolulu Police Department were notified and immediately responded to a report of an active shooter at Dry Dock 2 of Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard. The subject responsible for the violence, a Navy sailor, was discovered deceased upon arrival from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The subject was assigned as a duty watchstander and was armed for security duties. 3 victims, all civilian shipyard employees working at the dry dock, were immediately identified and transported to local hospitals. 2 of the victims ultimately succumbed to their injuries, and 1 remains in stable condition at a local hospital. A security sweep of the area was conducted and no additional subjects were identified. At the time of the event, several thousand shipyard employees were in the controlled industrial area where the incident occurred. NCIS, with the assistance of our law enforcement partners, immediately screened all employees for potential witness information. Witnesses reportedly observed the shots fired at the victims and ultimately observed the victim turn the weapon upon himself. And all of this happened in approximately 23 seconds. The crime scene examination remains ongoing, and multiple items of evidentiary value have been collected from the scene, the subject's vehicle, and the subject's barracks room. Forensic examination of the various electronic media belonging to the subject has started in an effort to determine a motive if possible. The investigation remains ongoing at this time. There is no known motive at this time. There is no information to suggest there are other threats to this installation, and there's no information that this incident has any ties to domestic terrorism. NCIS is leading the investigation with substantial support from the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, the FBI, and all of our law enforcement partners you see here today. We would like to sincerely thank U.S. Attorney Mr. Price, FBI Special Agent in Charge Miranda, Chief Ballard with the Honolulu Police Department, and all of our local and federal law enforcement partners who quickly responded to the scene and assisted NCIS with conducting investigative actions. Thank you.
Good morning. As Special Agent in Charge Dominici mentioned, I'm the United States Attorney for the District of Hawaii. On behalf of the United States Attorney's Office, the Department of Justice, and the federal law enforcement community here in Hawaii, I'd like to express my sincere condolences to the family members and friends of the deceased after Wednesday's tragic events. I know that this atrocity will leave scars in the hearts of many. Our Navy, the state of Hawaii, and the country as a whole are left with memories of innocent lives lost and a state of emptiness that will permeate our hearts. Our federal law enforcement community in Hawaii provided and continues to provide its full support to the men and women of the Navy and NCIS. In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, numerous federal law enforcement officials surged toward the location of the shooting and offered their full support to NCIS special agents who began their investigation. Agents from the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, Air Force Office of Special Investigations, Secret Service, and Coast Guard Investigative Service unhesitatingly offered their full assistance to NCIS, and I'm confident they'll continue to do so as necessary. I would also like to thank the first responders and medical professionals who provided much-needed care and assistance, as well as victim services personnel who continue to help those most affected by Wednesday's events. As Special Agent in Charge Dominici said, NCIS's investigation is ongoing. And until it's complete, I'd like to make clear that the United States Attorney's Office, the FBI, and the federal law enforcement community pledge to offer our continued support to NCIS and to leverage every resource at our disposal to promote the safety and security of our brothers and sisters in uniform. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sam Miranda. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the FBI Honolulu Field Office. I would first like to send my heartfelt thoughts and prayers to the victims and families, both here in Hawaii and in Pensacola, Florida. It's been a tough few days for our Navy family, so keep them in your prayers in this holiday season. However, our community is strong, and we will overcome this senseless act. The FBI was on the scene since the incident occurred, and we will continue to provide the full support and FBI resources and capacity and capabilities to the U.S. Navy and the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. We are currently providing investigative assistance, evidence collection, and technical assistance, and will continue to do so as long as is necessary. The FBI Victim Assistance Program and the Hawaii State Crime Victim Compensation Commission are working hand in hand to provide necessary assistance to the victim families during this very difficult time. I want the community to know that we are all in this together, and that the FBI, along with our friends in the U.S. Navy, NCIS, and every agency here represented today, are working tirelessly to bring closure to this despicable and horrific act. I know the community has concerns regarding safety and security. As Special Agent in Charge Dominici stated earlier, this is an ongoing investigation, and there's a lot of questions yet to be answered. However, I can't confirm at this time. At the stage of this investigation, it appears this to be an isolated incident, and that the shooter appears to have acted alone. I can also confirm that at this time, this act does not appear to have been motivated by any particular ideology. As I stated earlier, We are committed to finding answers to all of these unanswered questions. Thank you. Mahalo.
Aloha and good morning. I'm Chief Ballard from the Honolulu Police Department. The Honolulu Police Department and myself as well extend our condolences to the families of the victims and also to the Naval Shipyard family. We are here in Hawaii. We have a special relationship with our military partners, our federal partners, our state and our local partners. It is a special place that we live in. And with that, the resources of the Honolulu Police Department are available to the military or to anybody when something like this happens. And we stand by as this investigation proceeds. Anything that we can do to assist the investigation, we will continue to do. Please keep the families in your prayers and the victims in your prayers as well during this holiday season. Thank you very much.
As mentioned, we have time for just a couple of questions.
Rear Admiral Chadwick. Lynn Kawano with Hawaii News Now. Can you tell us about Mr. Romero's difficulties and disciplinary issues and why he's allowed to be on an armed watch when he is undergoing these difficult issues, as well as possible anger management classes earlier this year?
Again, that's all part of the investigation that's going on right now. Again, I don't have direct knowledge to the aspects of that, but every aspect of that is being looked at, as well as about the response and everything else. I mean, this is something that we're going to be looking at from all angles, and that's certainly one of the things we're going to be looking at.
Is it common for sailors or soldiers who are having difficulty and disciplinary problems to be on a sentry watch, possibly to get them out of the regular duties of other sailors?
Again, we are always committed to providing the support to our sailors when they're having problems, and again, all that's going to be coming out as part of the investigation in terms of what was involved here.
We have time for one more question.
Have additional security measures been put into place since, especially with all the shipyard workers back today? What has changed as of today for everyone's additional safety?
Again, as I stated in my initial statement at the earlier press conference, we are always evaluating the security situation. On a daily basis, we have very robust security at Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickam. And at this point, obviously, standard procedures, standard vigilance that we always have. And again, we are focused on, in addition to normal security procedures, providing the support needed to the shipyard workers, especially who are coming back to work today.
All right. Thank you, Admiral.
Any information about why he was able to carry weapons?
We'll have a public affairs representative who can take follow-on questions if needed. Thank you.
Well, everyone's here now. I think we all have questions. You have a ton of officials here. You take
The principals have some obligations they have to go to. We'll be happy to take further questions.
They took no questions.
They took no questions.
They took absolutely no questions.
That is not true.
People are dead. We need answers. You parade officials out here to talk about teamwork and how everyone should be assured, but they're not answering any questions.
Not answering any questions.
Can they come up here and answer questions?
They have other obligations.
What are their obligations right now when there are questions that you have media from all over the world here ready to ask. The families deserve what answers.
The families deserve some of these answers. They're all here now. They can take a
This is early in the investigation.
We will be happy to speak with any public affairs officials who are here ready to answer our questions.
This is very early. This is very early in the investigation, and not much information is available. This is part of the investigation.
Florida, they've done 2 press conferences
Excuse me?
since the shooting this morning. In Florida, they have done 2 press conferences.
I understand.
Since the shooting this morning. It's been 2 days. We asked all day yesterday for something. They're all here now.
We are continuing.
How can you parade officials out here for a photo opportunity and not answer a single question?
We are continuing to take queries in our office. I think you'll have our answers. Thank you very much.
Very public that even the chief can address, the police chief, the U.S. attorney, the FBI.
This is unacceptable.
We maybe need to go to Pensacola to get answers.
All right, everybody, as you can see, some very upset media there in Hawaii. They said, hey, we've got all these officials here. We've unfortunately got these shooting victims, and they believe they're not getting any answers. You watched it live following the update right here on Fox News Now. The president at the White House. This is tape playback. It is not live, but he is meeting with small business leaders. We're going to take a listen in.